Hey, Kin fans, I'm back, and I wanted to go over working with the ledger with Kin now on the Solana blockchain. I'm going to try to make this one a little bit shorter so you can review if you need it. I wanted to go over, we've got two apps that we can use on the ledger. Kin-SPL app, which is the one that got us through the translation, but is still in development. I know that concerns some people. In my experiments, it's only needed if you had Kin when the conversion happened. Okay, they needed it so that you can still access your Kin3 address mapped to Kin4. If you don't have Kin and you go install it, if you didn't have Kin that came across or you never had it on a ledger, going and installing the app and trying to get it set up is a non-starter. I would recommend that you go to the Solana app. Um, so even if you had Kin when the conversion happened, you can still move your Kin to the Solana app and just be done with it and have one app that's supported by Ledger and um, you know doesn't have a lot of the questions around it. So with the Ledger app, it is approved for Solana. You can add a Kin wallet easily. I feel this is the way. I like this setup so much. I've removed Ethereum app from my Ledger. I don't ever plan on going back onto Ether again. There are some issues. You can't link your Ledger hardware wallet to either of the two dexes I can get to. Actually, you can't link it to Project Serum. Won't even do anything. You can link it onto dex at solflare.com, but when you try to do a transaction and sign, it won't let you. And so, you know, it's not fully functional yet. You're going to have to still transfer from your ledger into some kind of intermediate wallet to trade on the dexes, and then trade and go back. I've opened a ticket on both with these guys. I've emailed support, and I'll update you guys as I hear. Okay, what we're going to go through real fast here is we're going to take a look at the Solana wallet. We're going to connect it to Solflare. Uh, we're going to send a little sol. I've already sent it over, but I'll explain the process. Then we're going to add the token wallets. We're going to add three: Kin, USDT, and USDC. Obviously, Kin for the reason this is about Kin, and then the two pairs we have on the dexes are USTD and USDC. So we'll need those depending on which one you want to use. And then we'll send a little Kin over to it to show you that it could actually live very fine and happy on the Ledger Solana app, and you don't need the Kin app. We're going to take a look at the Kin-SPL wallet as well. We're going to connect it to my Kin wallet. This is a fresh install for me, and so you'll see that there's some problems there. I haven't figured out any way how to get the Kin wallet added from there. But again, if you don't already have Kin, you know, you don't need the Kin SPL. If you've never had Kin on the ledger before, don't put the Kin SPL app on. Put on the Solana app, add a token account the way I'm going to show you, and then work off of that. I think that's the best way. Okay, so the Solana version of my Kin wallet is Solflare. And to use it, you need to have your ledger obviously powered on and logged in, and you actually need to be in the Sol app. And so once you are, you can select the derivation path. There's only one. If you've ever done anything with BIP39, Sol's token number is 501, and that tells the ledger how to calculate its addresses. So once it comes up, I work out of the first account. You've got 0 through 6. You got options of 7, but I always work in the number 1 account or 0 account, first one. And then once you click that button, you need to look at your ledger, and it's going to ask you to compare the public key and approve before we enter in. So as you can see, I've got a little bit of Sol here. I sent it over from ftx.us. If you want to see how to do such things, you can go back and look at my previous. But you can, if you want to get your wallet going, you need to go someplace and buy Sol. I think FTX.us or FTX.com is a good option because you can buy it with US dollars, Bitcoin, or USDT, and then send it over here. So what you need to do, wherever you've got your Sol, send a transaction over to this address and it'll show up. Okay, so over on the tokens page, you can see I've already created a Kin token. a USD token account, and a wrapped USDT token account. These are the three that we'd need to use. It takes just a little bit of your balance, but if you look back at my other video, that's just kind of for staking. It keeps that's the wrong word, but it puts a little bit of sol into your token wallet or sets it aside for that token wallet, and that keeps it from getting garbage collected. So that's very much what the Kin Foundation did for us when things got converted. Because I've already set these up, I'm going to go ahead and create another token account so you can see the process. Serum is the native coin for these dexes that are built off of Serum. So, we might need one of those sometime. So I'm just going to go ahead and add an account. It's going to ask me some questions on the ledger. It says, do you want to create the token account? It's going to be from a certain mint, and I'll explain that in a minute. Owned by, and it gives my public address for Sol. Funded by my public address for Sol, and funded from my balance. And I'm going to say, sure, no problem. And it just runs for a moment. Sends it out to the blockchain. It's super fast. And if I browse away and come back, you can see famous last words. There it is. Serum is on here now. And so took a little bit of my balance, sent it out to the blockchain, created an account. So when they talk about mint, that's this address up here. You really don't want to do anything with that. It's actually equivalent to the overall Ether account number for each token. And if you send money to the one that starts with Kin, you're probably going to lose it. The ones below are your accounts, right? So mint, your public address for Kin. Mint address for Serum, your public address for Serum. You get the idea, right? And so those now can have things transferred to them and show up here, keep them. They'll persist through a rebuild of your ledger because, again, your keys are the only thing that live on the ledger. This stuff lives out on the blockchain. So the blockchain knows that you have these accounts, and as long as you're accessing it with your secret key that's on your ledger, you'll have access to these. So the next thing, I'm going to drop here for a second, and I am going to go send some Kin over here just so that everybody can see honestly that Kin can happily live in its own token wallet on the Solana app. Okay, I've sent it over. We're going to go over to the wallet, and we're going to come back to the tokens, and you can see there's now 2,000 Kin in there. Not a lot, just moving around some test accounts, like I said, on a throwaway ledger setup. So that's how you deal with the Solana wallet on Ledger. You go to Solflare, you log in, you send some money over, you get your public address, you send some sol over that you've bought. Most likely, like I said, for me, the easiest is on FTX. And then you can go do other things, right? You want to create your token accounts, whichever you need, depending on where you're going to be doing your purchasing. And whatever pairs you're wanting to trade, and then you can transfer in by just copying the address. Again, this lower address, not the mint address, the lower address, copy it over to wherever you're sending it to, and it'll come over quickly. I've been really impressed with the speed of Solana. So by comparison, again, if you had Kin coming over from before, you're going to want to get this app if for no other reason than to move your Kin out. And it'll let you do that through my Kin wallet. I've set up a fresh account here. Obviously, there's no Kin in it, but I'm going to go ahead and connect. So Kin coin on Kin3 was coin ID 2017 on the BIP process. And so that's what this app is for, is to allow us to access a different derivation path, and then it will go ahead and manually or automatically do the conversion over to the proper format for sol that some of us have done manually, which is to take some bits off and the front and the back, and then run it through a couple of converters. So as you can see, the Solana address based off of 2017 is different than the Solana address based off of 501. So they're different, but it allows you to access the Solana blockchain two different ways on the same ledger. So I'm going to go ahead and say access my wallet. And as you can see here, no token accounts. And that obviously makes it less than useful for Kin. So I did the same process. I'm going to go ahead and open up the Explorer for this account. And as you can see, it does have Sol over here, the same amount I started with when I was messing around with the Solana. So I figured, okay, here's how I make token accounts on Solana. I send a little Sol over, blah, blah, blah. I come back over here and I know I've got money here. And when I say create token account, it throws an error. So a little disappointing, but not really that important because again, if you're just getting into the game, whether you are only starting to buy Kin or you've never held Kin on a ledger and now you've got a ledger, my strongest recommendation is to forget this app and just install Solana and create a Kin token account on Solana and transfer your money there. So, I'm kind of over this one. I've got some money from before, some Kin that's there, but all my new trades and everything I'm going to do on Solana, and eventually I'll basically transfer everything over to Solana and be done with it. So hope that answers some questions about the Kin app. If you have Kin on here, you'll pull it up. It'll have a token account. Everything will be happy, and you can send your money from here. And like I said, at this point, there's really not a lot of places to send your Kin unless you're going to send it to another wallet. And one of the options you do have is just to send it to your Sol address, Sol token, Kin token address on your ledger. Okay, so the other things I was talking about, you're supposed to be able to connect a wallet over here. They give you the option. It comes up in the first, it gives you an option here to import hardware wallet. Okay, it doesn't work, at least on, the latest version of Google Chrome, on the latest version of Windows. I really don't have a lot of other options to test, but if I say import hardware wallet, it just doesn't do anything. And so if you want to trade on the DEX and you have a ledger, you're going to have to send it to Solana wallet for Serum, Project Serum. I talked about how to set that up and stuff in my previous video. So if you want to do that, you'll need to go check that out. And then there's another option here. Solflare says, hey, we've got a DEX, right? So everybody's able to build on Serum. It's open source. Theirs is DEX, They say Connect Wallet, and it's a lot fancier, right? They've added some bells and whistles here. Says, hey, this is Solflare. You want to connect? Sure. What are you going to do? I want to use my ledger. How nice. They support the ledger. Access my wallet. And let me get into the right app over here. Select our 501 derivation path. Goes through the same process. Please access this wallet. And then you have to look back at your key or your ledger because it's asking you to confirm. Okay, so we're in. There's my public address. It shows the token accounts that I have in there. There's my 2000 Kin. I'm going to move this out of the way so we can do some other things here. If I want to go to Sol, right? It says, hey, yep, there's a Sol account. You have some money. Okay, so things are good. Or you would think. So I'm going to come over here to Kin, and I'm going to say I want to sell some of my 2000 Kin. I'm just going to pick a price here. I'm going to sell half of it. And then I'm going to bring this window back over. So the way it works is you can see I'm completely connected. It has full access to my wallet. I'm going to say sell. And it comes up and says, hey, there's a transaction. Would you please sign it? And this allows you to access the secret key in the ledger. As soon as you hit submit, it comes up and throws an error. Haven't been able to figure it out. I've tried bigger transactions in case there was a minimum. I've done a lot of things. I've sent emails, as I said, to both these guys and to the Soleil folks saying, hey, access hardware wallet on Soleil and tie my ledger to dex.solflare. Just doesn't work. So those will need to get sorted. It would be a lot nicer to be able to deal directly with your ledger on one of these dexes. Right now, you're in no worse shape here than you would be if you were like sending money off to BitHum or Gate.io. But in the long term, we need to get this fixed. So that's my little tour going through things on Ledger. My recommendation is to get everything over to the Ledger app, set yourself up a Kin token account and whatever else tokens you want to use for trading, and move away from the Kin app. Obviously, if you didn't have Kin before the conversion, don't even bother putting the app in. If you did, you might want to consider moving it, because you can get your Kin over onto Sol, which is a fully supported app on Ledger. So again, thanks for watching. I hope this was useful for folks. And if you have any questions, hit me up on Reddit or through the comments here on YouTube, and I'd be happy to chat with you. Thanks.